And being a rookie and playing alongside these legends, do you remember any specific moment where, I don't know, Barkley, Hakeem, or maybe Pippen gave you some advice or challenged you, or maybe even pulled a prank on you or something like that?
Yeah, so it's funny because a guy sent me a video of I didn't play the very first game of my career against the Lakers. Second game was against Golden State Warriors in Golden State, and I had a top of the key 3-pointer. I won the game. So that was my introduction to the NBA. Charles Barkley passed it to me, and reporters asked him, he's like, "Did you know you were going to pass it to the rookie?" And he's like, "If I knew it was that dummy, I would have kept the ball." Right. So that was just that was his way of saying good job, because it's funny when he said it in the video, but then when I looked at the film, he was the first one that ran over to me and hugged me. So it was pretty cool. I learned a lot from Scotty, just preparation, right, and taking the game seriously, right. And Dream was more of a life prep, right, because he's Muslim. He studied a lot. He kept himself clean, well, mentally, physically. So I learned from every single person. I learned from Charles what not to do. And so I had the best of all worlds.
Yeah, because with these three players, you had definitely different leadership styles. Charles always seems like he's a bit more loose, relaxed, ready to crack a joke, while Scotty was a true professional, like you said, and Hakeem was very, especially towards the end of later stage of his career, he was very deep in religion. He was very professional as well. Different personalities, from what I understand, and I think you also mentioned it, very different leadership styles.
Yeah, all three of them were totally different, man. It was beautiful for me, right? Because it kind of led me into the path that I am now. Dream and I actually, Akeem Awan and us, we actually trade books. So he'll send me books, I send him books. Scotty doesn't live too far from me. I haven't spoken to Charles, but when I did, it was all love. But I love those guys. Those guys helped me become who I am.
That's amazing, coming into that kind of team and having those veterans around you. So that was a nice hand of card. That was a nice hand of cards for you coming in, definitely. There was when Pippen actually came to Houston, I remember Charles took a pay cut for him to come in, and there was some tension between the two, especially when it, I guess, started not to work as they imagined. Were there any memorable exchanges between them, and how did they handle their differences between closed doors? Because I mean, at the end of the day, it looked like a super team, but was it a super team? And what was like the vibe of the team?
You talking about with Scotty and Charles?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about it. Charles was on, the decline. Dream was on the decline. They were older, right? They weren't experienced as they weren't running, and moving around on the floor defensively, even offensively, like, Rasheed Wallace's and the Kevin Garnett's and the Tim Duncans of the world. These guys they were like, Clydesdales. They were unbelievable at that time, right? So no knock on Dream and Charles about that, right? They're just getting older. And Scotty was, he was getting older himself, right? So he thought that, coming to the Rockets, it would be easier because you have Charles and Dream, but Dream and Charles were older now. So Scotty, bumped heads with Charles in a way where it wasn't crazy, but just that you come from a work ethic of Michael Jordan and yourself and Tim Grover, and then you come over to Charles, and Charles didn't work on his body, so that bothered Scotty. So I mean, it was, other than that, it wasn't. We all hung together. It was fine.